it seems like you had a 2-year runway to run straight into a buzzsaw with COVID. So, how big did you get this business before COVID hit, and then what was the impact that when COVID came?
Oh man. So we're not the biggest business. We're not, it's starting to become something, right? There's a foothold there. It's consistent. We've got the data to say that we're not going anywhere. But that first expansion was just to make it nicer and more appealing. And then
Mm-hmm.
for the 3 years leading into the decision to expand a second time, we hadn't hit the ceiling. I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
enough staff. We were not filled to the brim, which
Mm-hmm.
is the most, that's what you should be doing. You should be
Right.
filled before you decide to expand. But I read at the time, it was 2019. It was a bunch of hoopla about what was going to happen with the election, what was going to be a recession or not.
Right.
And a lot of fitness business people that I follow were talking about, can your fitness business survive a recession? And I was convinced that it could not. We're a middle price point, middle of the road, seemingly luxury item, and we were not various price points, various different types of services. That if stuff hit the fan, people weren't going to just say, "Hey, we're going to head out. Maybe we'll be back in a year or two." So the whole plan to expand the third time was more of a survival attempt, right? We were really capitalizing on only one service, and I knew I needed at least one or two other services of various price points to be able to be stickier, so to speak. And so that was the major motivator to expand the third time was this needs to become a well-oiled machine. We need to have better systems in place, different price points, different age groups, different services with different types of consumers, so that if stuff hits the fan, all of our eggs aren't in one basket.
Right. You're diversified and you can handle stuff. So what actually did you do? What happened when COVID hit? I know gyms were impacted like very hard. Like, how did you guys survive that?
uh, don't panic. That's the first one.
Yeah.
It's super easy to feel like the universe is taking your dream away from you. Uh, and I experienced those feelings. But if you panic too much, you make impulsive decisions, and they could be the bad decisions. So
Hmm.
um, we were able to recoup, just or regroup rather. Shut everything down, sit down and talk about it, and uh, we were able to take a look at the language of all the ordinances, what we could do, what we couldn't do, and we got creative. We didn't just kowtow to this. We wanted to stay as safe as possible. We also didn't want to be negligent with complete closures, and so we were able to not do indoor fitness. That was not allowed. That was unsafe. But outdoor fitness was acceptable. We had the ability to, it's sometimes not what you know, it's who you know. I had the resources to be able to get some equipment outside. Uh, we pretty much packed all of our most used equipment into an enclosed trailer that we locked behind
Hmm.
the building. And every day we'd
Wow.
undo that trailer and we'd set up a whole gym outside
Oh my
with,
gosh.
and it was all in the sun. If it rained, it rained and we couldn't go train. But if it was out, if it was sunny, right, and people wanted to come out and they felt safe, we had, it was under the UV light. We had disinfect. I used more disinfectant in those first 6 months. I have never used so much disinfectant. It's unbelievable. So we were disinfecting everything intra session, post session. We instead of having sessions back to back, we uh, we kept grace periods in between sessions so we could clean everything up. Uh, but that's what we were able to do. And then my other coach at the time, super resourceful, really clever guy. He was influent. He was really just, he was so great. He was able to piece together a remote athletic program for high schoolers, and they didn't have any fitness, they didn't have any performance. Everybody was still not knowing what was happening, but athletes, they have a short career, they have a short window of time to get that scholarship, so they couldn't get out of shape. So he put together a remote program, and that helped us out a lot. And seeing the writing on the wall, applying for the EIDL funds, not wasting any time on that. All of these things were really impactful and helped us really, talk to the landlord, get let's make a deal about this rent because business just tanked.
Mhm.
All of those things were useful.